In the previous example, we could have nested the SQL statements, and it's instructive to see how this might have been done so we can understand why we'd try to avoid it if we can. I've called the example Thrasher Nest because fundamentally it thrashes the database. It has a database hit for every company instead of just one single database hit like in our Nest demo example. We save that file and collapse some of the code components. Notice that we start off by declaring a SQL statement for the companies, effectively going back to our list which says find a company, find all the persons for the company and list them. Then for the next company, find all the persons and so on. So we run our SQL statement for the companies, and then while we cycle through that, we create a table. There's the table headings. And for each company, we run an SQL statement for the persons where the company ID equals the company ID that we got from the company SQL. And then we run that and lay out all of the fields for each person that is associated with the company. So you can see we're doing multiple hits on the database. You should go through the code of this example to understand how the structure is laid out and why it's fundamentally different. One thing that will be different, of course, is that it's not like a left join because we're only selecting companies that actually exist, and then we're only selecting the people in those companies. So when we find this file, Nest Demo Thrasher, in our demo folder, we certainly won't expect to find any records of people who don't belong to companies. In fact, we do list the companies that have no records of people as well. Remember, there were 3 of them from our right join earlier. So the fundamental result from this is very similar to a right join, except it's not a right join. It's a nested loop of processing. Now, you might be tempted to think that another approach could be to read the entire data set into an array and then process the array. Sometimes, because of the nature of the data set or other processing needs, this is unavoidable, but we do try to avoid it when processing data because we then have to manage all of the array parameters and indices ourselves, whereas MySQL fetch array does all that for us. Notwithstanding that, nested processing is a powerful tool that you will frequently need in dealing with many database application requirements, and the variations are numerous. Almost any of our previously examined repetition constructs can be combined to create nested repetition. For example, we can have a for construct inside a while construct. So this is the for is nested inside the while construct. We could have a do while construct inside a for each construct. So the do while is nested inside the for each. And these constructs are sometimes useful for processing multi-tiered data that we extract from the database with select statements.